Welcome back to the Between Sundays podcast, a Christian podcast that explores the gospel message and encourages holding God's word close to your heart between Sundays. We're back together. It's Nathan and Ryland. We're here to wrap up our James study with James chapter 5. It's taken what feels like 6 months to get here, but we're here, and we've got something good for you today.
I want to say it has been 6 months. When did we start? January? We didn't start in November. So it's been about 5.5, give or take. So I think I said this in the last episode, but I'm ready to get done with it, but I'm also not ready to be done with it. It'll be good. I like James chapter 5.
For sure. James 5 is probably one of my favorite chapters of the book of James. It's all applicable, but I really enjoy James 5, I think, more than the others. So similar structure to the way we've done a lot of these episodes. We'll read the scripture, we'll get into our points, and we'll let you go. So we're in James chapter 5, starting in verse 1. Starts with, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of laborers, who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasures on the earth, and been wanton, and ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven nor by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing psalms. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up, and if he hath committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Confess your faults one to another, and pray for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Elias was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death, and shall hide a multitude of sins."
All right. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of words. I hope that you listening don't find yourself getting lost in a jungle of words there. I hope that when we bring out these points and we have our discussions that it'll make sense. My first point is just that physical wealth is an illusion and a trap. And we see that in verses 1 through 6.
It really is. Kind of bridging that together, we've got that anything built in this world really won't last. That was my first point, but a lot of times we get these references in the Bible of people trying to build a kingdom down here, build wealth, build anything, on earth. And a lot of times, you go read the book of Ezekiel, and it's like the first, 28, 29 chapters are all about how, this kingdom does a lot to build something down here, and then the Lord comes through and destroys it as judgment. That's coming to us if we build our kingdom here, right? It's a choice that we have to make of, am I going to use what I get from this world to honor the Lord, or am I going to use what I get from this world to make myself look better? I just had a simple thought of like riches, houses, cars, clothes. All of that is covered here in these first 6-ish verses. and it's all going to come crashing down one day.
Yeah. I mean, I just prepared notes for a Sunday school lesson at my church. I'm teaching Sunday school, not to pat myself on the back or whatever, but I'm going through the book of Daniel with it. And in chapter 2, if you're not familiar, Nebuchadnezzar has a dream of a statue, and the statue represents earthly kingdoms. I want to say it's like the Medo-Persian Empire and the Medes Empire or something like that, and then the Babylonian revival or something. And one of the key points from that chapter was that all these earthly things are just temporary, right? And the thing about that statue is there's actually going to be, in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, there was a tiny stone that came from a mountain that was meant to represent God's kingdom, and it hit the statue, and it knocked the whole thing over. So I mean, that's pretty symbolic, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it takes nothing to set anything, anything huge off, right? I think about building a house. If one tiny, piece of the foundation isn't exactly right, they have to scrap the whole thing, right? It could be a multi-million-dollar mansion and the foundation not be right. The very beginnings of the entire house not be right, and they got to scrap the whole thing. So that just tells me, hey, build your entire earthly, no, you don't even get an earthly kingdom. Build your entire wealth kingdom, whatever you want to call it, centered around the Lord and whatever you can do for him. I mean, there's no point in trying anything else. It's what it is.
In specific physical wealth, though, tying it back into this chapter, we get the warning of, dude, all this stuff it's going to lead to your misery. It's going to lead to your demise. You make physical riches your dependence and your God. What happens when your God goes away?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So,
right? I mean, recently we had the penny become no more, and everybody is kind of freaked out about that now. Oh, well, what do you mean my cheeseburger from McDonald's is now not $1.66? Now I have to pay $1.70 for it. What do you mean? Right? You've got people freaking out over the penny being gone. What are they going to do when $100 isn't worth anything anymore? What are they going to do when $1,000 isn't worth anything? Yeah.
Their entire bank account ceases to exist.
Yep. People that have built that as their God, they're up for a rude awakening.
I know. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Kind of flowing into the next point here of we can't rush the Lord and his plans for your life. And in my notes, I have it bolded and underlined and italicized and everything, the word your, because it's the plan for your life. Me and Ryland do not have the same plan for our life, right? The plan for my life is unique to my life. The plan for Ryland's life is unique to his life. But in that sense, the Lord knows more about me than I know about me. So who am I to tell him how and when to do things in my life, right? I've never understood that, how people can be confident looking at the Lord and saying, well, this is how I want to do things and this is when I want to do it. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. What did you say your point was again?
Don't rush the Lord and his plans for your life.
Okay. Apologies. I assume you took that from, we see the farmer here.
Yeah, talking about the farmer.
Yeah. I mean, in my little scribbles of notes here, I have that we see that the farmer continues to farm. I think that's a big thing, right? He continued to farm, right? He didn't plant his crops on, I don't even know, do you know when the first day of first day of spring, we'll call it?
I don't know.
We'll say the first day of March or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
That works.
I'm not a farmer, never have. Say he plants his crops on March 1st and doesn't do anything until the fall and harvest season. His crops are going to be dead, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I think it's similar, right? If we don't tend to our faith regularly, it's also going to be dead.
Yeah. But then on the flip side of that too, he doesn't, the farmer doesn't plant his crops on March 1st and expect them to be fully grown on March 2nd.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
There's got to be some time there for the crops to grow. Too. Right. Yes. That's exactly where I was getting at. You gotta be patient with the Lord. The patient's not gonna unroll his entire, what's the average lifespan? 70, 80 years?
Something like that, 70.
Right? The Lord's not gonna roll out his entire plan for your 70-year life in 30 seconds.
Right.
Right? It's going to take some time for you to get there. And if you're not willing to wait on the Lord and let the Lord work in your life, He's not really going to use you that much.
Well, I have, getting away from that point, I don't know if you have anything else to
No,
add.
I'm good. I'm good on that one.
I just jumped straight down to where it talks about effective prayer, and this is the last about 6 or so verses of the chapter. 7 or 6. I'm not trying to turn this into that type of joke podcast, but I had noted that there is power in earnest prayer, and the Google definition of earnest is resulting from or showing sincerity.
Yeah.
So there is power in sincere prayer.
Absolutely. My Bible uses the word effectual in what verse is that? I can't find it. I'm trying to find it. Verse 16, but it says the effectual fervent prayer. So I looked up what the word effectual meant, and by no surprise, it's just having an effect. So the prayer to have an effect has results tied to it. But we find also that prayer will cover like everything. I like the little like, hey, you've got this going on, pray about it. You've got this going on, pray about it. In my notes, I wrote down that if you're sick, pray about it. If you're happy, sing praises to the Lord. If you get sick again, get to church and get around God's people. Because that's the best healing for anything.
Yeah. I just thought it was super funny how, and you worded it exactly how it was listed here in James chapter 5. Like scenario, pray, scenario, pray, scenario, pray, scenario, pray. Like it in every scenario, right? Nathan and I have talked about it before. Earnest prayer should not be our e-brake, but it should be the steering wheel, right?
Yeah, for
prayer
sure.
should be the steering wheel. Prayer should be the thing that guides your life and guides your every move, and not, well, I'm just going to pray because it's the last resort and I feel like my back against the wall. My back's against the wall. No, I'm not just going to pray when my back's against the wall. I'm not just going to pray when, I've tried everything else, so now let me try prayer. It's like, well, no, I'm trying prayer from the get-go. And I think if you try prayer from the get-go, right, if you are earnest and sincere in your prayer from the get-go, and that area of your life doesn't work out, I feel like that's the Lord telling you, hey, shy away from that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Again, I think it's just a kind of the same type of thing, right? If prayer is guiding your life, we talked about it just a point ago of how if you're praying and you are, prayer is the first thing you go to, you're more in tune for His plan for your life. Again, it's not going to be, you, and then if you're more in tune with His plan for your life, you're not building your riches here on earth. So it all kind of builds together to show, hey, prayer is the key here. Prayer is the thing that's going to get you wherever you need to go. If you don't know what to do, pray about it. Pray about it 100%. That's the best thing you can do. Don't try to do any of this on your own. You're not solo. I'll think about it all the time. I'll say it to Ryland when we're talking about in our personal studies, but we're not solo missioning anything for the Lord. It's not us against anything. It's the Lord through us getting things done. Yeah. So it's not about us. It's not about what we can do.
Right. I think you mentioned it with like the going to church and being around, like your congregation and your righteous friends and all that. I think it's cool how we see that there's power in just one earnest or one sincere prayer, right? Mm-hmm. So you listening, I just want you to imagine the power of numerous righteous prayers.
Absolutely.
Like prayers, right? Like I think of it, Nathan and I are big sports gurus. If you sign one good hitter to your baseball team, you might see some results, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But you sign 9 good hitters to your baseball team, how much
there's going to be results? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if you have issues that you need serious prayer for and that you have people that you can go to, take it to them. Take it to your prayer buddies or take it to your family members that you're close with or your congregation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'll share a personal experience. There have been things where I have texted Ryland, hey, I need, it doesn't have to be, I don't think I've ever gone into super deep specifics with you about anything I've needed prayer about. But at the same time, I'm just saying, hey, pray for me. This is going on. And I know that Ryland's going to pray for me. I know he is, because of that's who he is. And I would hope that, if Ryland texts me, I hope that he feels the same way. But if you don't have that, like connection or that group that you could go to, I encourage you, find some people that you can take things to. Right. Yeah. Like pray for the Lord to give you people that you can take those things to. Because again,
I'm not.
Not like Ryland said one effectual or earnest prayer is good, but imagine what can happen when we get more than one going.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a believer in like the church still has the power to, heal the blind and all these things, right? And perform it. Like, I believe in that stuff.
Absolutely.
But we don't have enough people who are sincere enough in their faith and sincere enough in their prayer.
Right.
Just my thoughts.
No, I mean, I think it 100%. I agree. Because the Holy Spirit still gives us the power to do things. And if we were earnest and honest in everything that we tried to do, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to.
Right.
Which kind of ties into my last point of why we can't do these things. It's because we've drifted from the truth. There's too many churches or anything like that. I won't even call them churches. I'll just call them gatherings of people that have drifted from the truth. It's kind of a similar ending to the end of chapter 4. But why drift from the one thing that could get you to heaven, right? The only thing that's going to get you to heaven is Jesus Christ. So why drift from that? I've never understood that. I don't think I'll ever understand.
No. I don't. Where did you take that from? Where'd that come from?
I think I read it from verse 19 where it says, brethren, if any of you do err from the truth.
Okay.
And then I stopped there.
Okay. Well, I mean, and then we're called, right? I'll just go ahead and keep it flowing. We're called to save a sinner, right?
Yep.
Save someone who has turned their back on Christ. I mean, that's the Great Commission after all, right?
100%.
If you were to summarize what we are called to do as born-again believers, right? Like, from the moment you're saved, if you were to summarize in one sentence what we're supposed to do, it'd probably be like, save a sinner. That's, again, further our relationship with Christ, but we honor Christ in the way we go about talking to others and saving them.
Yeah.
So that's what we're called to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the last thing I have written down is now go out there and tell someone. What's the point of keeping in what Christ did for you? What's the point? I mean,
No point.
There's no point in keeping it in. Go tell somebody. Tell somebody to tell somebody, and then tell some more people. Like Ryland said, it's the Great Commission. We are literally commissioned by Christ to go tell people about what He's done.
Yeah.
And yet we've got people who don't do it.
I just think about how much better, my life is with Jesus. Like, here I am. Nathan can attest to this. I'm here cheesing just talking about it.
Absolutely.
I just think about how much better my life is with Christ. And, we could start a whole podcast talking about how good the Lord is in our lives, right? And, I just want that for other people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you? Nathan and I, we talk about it a lot of, whose salvation do we care about but our own? We may care about, our brothers or our sisters or our mom or our dads or, if you care about your aunts and uncles, well, that's really good on you because a lot of people don't care about their aunts and uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you really care about the strangers, really good on you. But we're called to tell it to everybody. There's
Absolutely.
no parameters to who we can tell it to. And if we're not telling people, there's no certainty that anybody else is, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think about it again. If I don't tell anybody, who's going to tell them? If I get a unique opportunity. I work in a public school. That's probably my biggest mission field right there. Right? Like, yes, I get to preach to people sometimes. Yes, I get to teach a Sunday school class, but at the same time, my biggest mission field is the classroom I teach in. And if I don't tell them about the Lord, if I don't show them the Lord through my actions, there's no guarantee that they're going to get it anywhere else. Like,
right.
I'm the one guarantee that I can have that they're going to get it. And you're the one guarantee in somebody's life because you don't know anybody else. As much as I trust and, have faith that Ryland is saved, he's the only one that knows that, right? I can tell you from what he's told me, from the actions he's shown and everything, that yes, he is. But at the same time, he's the only one that knows for sure.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that can have the guarantee that he's telling people about the Lord. And I'm the only one that knows for sure I'm telling people about the Lord and doing everything I can.
Yeah. I think that's a it's a good but also kind of a funny way to close
Absolutely.
the book of James. Like, I think it's, we go all these, we learn about all these deep topics and we go down these deep rabbit holes of our faith and how we're supposed to walk, right? And then it's stuck at the very end, right? It's like 2 verses at the very end of James, and it's like, hey, go tell somebody. Here I am. I've given you all these things. Like, Jesus has given these teachings to us through James, right? And now it's like, hey, go tell somebody. And Nathan and I, we're here doing it again. That's not to pat us on the back, but our encouragement is not only that you take in these things and you make a change, but you go out and tell somebody.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool, right? Like, we know that I learned this a lot later than I probably should have, but James is the half brother of Jesus. It's crazy. I never put it together. So he probably grew up getting to hear about all of the stuff that Jesus did and everything. And then he's telling you, the reader, now go tell people, right? Like, I got told all of these things. I told my people. So now you go tell people too. What a great way to end. Great way to end the book of James.
Yeah. Dude, we're done with the book of James. How about that?
It's crazy. Thank you for sticking with us, man.
Yeah, good. It's been a long time coming.
But again, we hope that we've given you something that you can take from this. That's really the goal behind this. It's not about, sounding good or, sounding grammatically correct or anything like that. It's just about giving you stuff that you can use. Because there'll be times where I go back and listen to our podcast. And I'm like, man, I know we talked about that, but at the same time, I never thought about that. So that's really what it's about. But again, like I said, we hope that you take something from this, and that you'll put it into your daily life and really, really use it. But we love you guys. We'll catch y'all next time. And just remember, hell's hot, heaven's not. See ya.